Good morning, Rochelle. Okay. Looks like we are officially recording. So let's get started. Thank you for all of you that are already here and on time. You guys rock my socks. We have a few housekeeping things. First off, there are still 5 of you that have not taken the eruptions, volcanoes, and the science of saving lives quiz, which was from last Thursday. And 14 of you have not taken the natural disasters weekly assessment week 1 online assessment. So you need to do that ASAP Rooney, the 14 of you that have not done it. If that's you, please get it done. What was I going to say next? Next, we, meaning Mrs. Siddick, Mrs. Jones, and I, have been feeling a little bit on the struggle bus lately. You're like, Mrs. Kneifel, what do you mean? What do you mean you're on the struggle bus? So sometimes you guys get a little overzealous with the chat. And I know it's hard because I know there's so many of you, okay? But we need to make sure we are using our chat for school-related things, okay? And using the chat when we say to use the chat. If I say, okay, all done, that means all done. We don't need to continue in the chat, okay? If I'm asking for answers, then put it in the chat. But when I say, okay, no more, let's just stop. We shouldn't be talking about other things that aren't school-related. Just because we have so short amount of time, when you guys talk in the chat, it just gets overwhelming, and we just got to stay focused, okay? Dylan, do you have a question?
Yes, if you said stop typing in the chat. What if you stop typing, but your message didn't send at first and send it after you said stop?
Well, I feel like I know kind of like if you're still answering the question, but sometimes it's like a few minutes later and people are still answering the questions from a few minutes later. Obviously if there's a few seconds different, there's no big deal. But I'll know, okay? Like, I'm not going to be mad if it happens. We just got to stay focused, okay? Because sometimes I feel like we get a little unfocused, okay? And it's really easy to get unfocused. I totally understand that, especially when there's so many of us. But, we just got to stay focused. Got to stay with it. But that is my little housekeeping of the day. I just want us all to be productive humans. Mark, do you have a question?
What? I'm sorry, my internet's really slow, so if you call on me, it's going to take like 10 seconds. But yeah, either way, do you know when we're going back, or are we going to go back next week, or do you know any of that?
No. As of right now, the school has only released that we're planning on coming back the 30th, but that has not been officially set in stone. Obviously, hopefully, because I miss peeps, but that has not been officially decided. As of right now, we're going back the 30th, but that's all I know. I know as much as you guys know.
Yeah, I'm used to this learning style, so I know what the heck to do. Done this all year.
So, also I cannot see all of you at once. Like right now, there's 49 students on. I can't see you all at once. So if you do have a legitimate question, feel free to type that in the chat, because I need to know if you have a question, but it should be a question related to what we're doing, not a question about what Mrs. Kneifel had for dinner. Okay? Are there any questions with anything that I have said so far this morning? Also, I was definitely having difficulties earlier with my Google Meet. It kept on kicking me out and reading RTI. So for some reason, if it kicks me out, just hang on. And I'll log back in, okay? I don't want you guys to leave. Just hang on. I'll log back in. I think hopefully it's good to go. It hasn't kicked me out yet. But, you never know. You never know. All right, we're doing something different today. Who doesn't love different things? So I'm going to share my screen, well, one of my screens, and I'm gonna, it's gonna be different. Well, the beginning's not gonna be different. It just will be in a minute. Okay, so, dun da da da. Sharing my screen in 5, 4, 3, 2. Not 1 yet, because I'm not there yet. I had to add someone. No, this is what I want. Okay. So, You can be on HMH if you want, or you can look on my screen, whatever's fine. We are not doing a traditional story this week. And if you're like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Kneifel, what does that mean? What do you mean we're not doing a traditional story this week? Guess what? This week, dun, 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 our genre that we're studying is an informational video. I repeat, informational video. So without going through the genre study, does someone want to tell me what an informational video is? What do they think it is without us even reading the thing? Dylan Kelly, I see your hand open. Or up, not open. Well, it is open, but that's besides the point.
Is it a video about that certain topic and it gives information about the text?
Yeah, basically just that. Informational, we all know what informational is. That's factual information, and it's in a video. So instead of reading a story this week, we're going to actually listen to a video that's going to give us factual information. If it's giving us informational or factual information, what genre is that? Fiction or nonfiction? Type it in my chat. If we're getting factual information, type it in my chat. Fiction or nonfiction? Don't say it out loud. Type it in my chat. Jaden, make sure you're muted, buddy. Type it in my chat. Is it fiction or nonfiction?
Here, wait, this is spelling. This is a spelling review. Is nonfiction a dash, a space, or just all together?
It's all together. Fun fact, because that is what we're talking about. Compound
Oh, I thought it
words.
was a dash.
No, it should just be one word. Let's double check. I feel like it's one word. Nonfiction. Yeah, it's just one word. Anyways, so good job if you guessed nonfiction. Yeah, we're getting real life factual information. What we are going to be watching today, / learning about is something that really happened. And if anyone recalls, we learned extra fun facts about what yesterday. At the very end of our meet, we learned extra fun facts about. Put it in my chat. What did we learn extra fun facts about? Earthquakes. Thank you. We did not learn specifically about Alaska's earthquake, really. We just learned about earthquakes. Remember, I pulled up Science for Kids, and we just learned those fun.
Mrs. Kneifel? You're glitching. She got kicked out.
I don't think. She's just glitched.
And reading RTI, she got glitched out, so she had to go on her phone and do it. So she's probably gonna have to do it.
Okay, guys, why
Mute
don't
yourself.
you stop? Right. Why don't you just stop talking? Here, guys, stop talking.
Okay.
All right. Officially back. I told you that might happen. Again, I'll just keep on logging back in. I don't know why it's doing it today. Okay? So, but I'm going to get right back to where we were. So yeah, if I put it in the chat that I was kicked out and I hopped right back on. So if it happens again, just wait a minute.
Are you back?
Okay, I'm officially on my phone. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out anymore. I don't know what the problem is. So now we need to be really focused because I only have this tiny little screen to see you guys through. So we're going to make it work, okay? So anyways, my screen is my screen still presenting? Yes? Yeah? Okay, cool. Then I'm going to get back to where I was. So anyways, yeah, nonfiction, informational video. And we talked about earthquakes yesterday, just some fun facts about it. And we learned a little bit more about those seismic waves. And we heard or we read the two largest. Remember, the first largest was a 9.6 earthquake, and it was in Chile. And the second largest earthquake happened to be in North America, which is where we live, the United States. And it was in Alaska. So that is what our informational video is about today, the Great Alaskan Earthquake. So we're going to just read a little bit about informational videos. We're going to learn a few other things. We're going to watch this video. We're going to chit chat about it. And yeah, I think it's just a little bit different since we're not going to be reading a story. We're just going to be hearing a story, but it'll be good. It's good to switch things up. So the first thing about informational videos. So the exact definition is informational videos present information about a topic, person, or event in visual and audio form. So visual, we know because viz means see. That is one of our roots. Viz means see, right? Is that a root? I think it's a root. Viz means see. So visual means we're seeing it. In an informational video, there is pictures or there's, a movie. So we're seeing it. And then audio means hear. Remember, odd means hear. So we are going to be seeing and hearing with our video. Okay? So that's what a video does. We hear and we see. Mia, do you have a question?
Yes. So this Alaska earthquake, is this like the second biggest earthquake?
Yes, it was the second biggest earthquake ever recorded. Okay. So, before people were here, I guess, back in the dinosaurs, there could have been bigger ones, but the biggest one recorded is this Alaskan earthquake, which we're going to hear more about. So let's learn a little bit more information about the genre. So a narrator explains what is happening on the screen. So you're going to see in this video, an informational video, there'll be actual people talking for a little bit, like a firsthand account, which we're going to learn more about in a second. And then there's also going to be just pictures or, the movie playing, and then someone in the background that we can't see explaining it. So there will be a narrator in this video, okay? And I'll point that out when we're watching the video. The video's not very long, so we're going to listen to it more than once and through the next couple days. So there will be a narrator in this video. Experts may be interviewed to help explain key points. So, experts. Okay, Bryden, that's a teeny bit off topic, sir. Experts are people who know a lot about a topic. So, not a volcanologist, sorry. A person that studies earthquakes, that I can't know, I don't remember what they're called right now. But anyways, the person who studies earthquakes might be in this video being, explaining a little bit more about it. Like if, okay, Bryden, thank you. Now I'm off topic. So an expert is someone who knows a lot about their field. So if there was a fire and Mrs. Kneifel was making a video about a fire, who might I interview? A firefighter. I'm not going to interview a restaurant worker about a fire because they wouldn't be an expert about a fire. Okay, so in this video we're going to see an expert, which I'll point out as we see, and they're being interviewed because they know a lot about the topic. Okay, also words that are specific to science or social studies topics may be included. Oh, someone in the chat, tell me, if words are specific to science or social studies topic, what are those called? That's what we talked about a ton last week. Blank, blank words. What are those words called? If they're specific to science and social studies, what are they called? Type it in my chat. I guess maybe it's blank, blank, blank words.
Oh my God. I know it's context or content.
So, Jacob, you win. Not that it was a race. Content area specific. So, content area words. Those are words specific to not just literature, not just reading. They're specific to social studies or science, and we are going to see a few of those words in here. Well, we're not going to see them because we're going to be hearing them because it's a video.
This is, can I?
What?
You're thinking of seismologist.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. A seismologist. Thank you. So,
you're welcome.
Hannah, well, if you can't see me or what I'm presenting, you need to pin me. You need to go find me, okay? You don't need to see anyone but the screen. You don't even really need to see me. All right, and then this next part. First-hand accounts are sometimes featured to help viewers better understand an event or an experience. Okay, this is where we're going to pause. What do first-hand accounts mean? I don't know. So first-hand accounts are something super specific. There's a first-hand account and there's a second-hand account. Does anyone want to give me a guess on what a first-hand or a second-hand account means? I can't really see a lot of hands up. So if you would like to,
Someone who experienced it?
but which one?
First person means somebody who experienced it with their own eyes. Second person means that somebody told them or they saw it like on a.
All right, go Presley. Everyone air 5 Presley from wherever you're at. Good job, Presley. So a first-hand account uses words like I and we because they actually saw it. They were there. So Mrs. Kneifel could give a first-hand account on what's something I've been to. Hold on, give me 5 seconds.
Do a restaurant or something.
So
Our
last
grades.
year in November, like November 3rd or November whatever, the teachers, there was a giant rally of teachers at the Indiana State House last year. You guys had an e-learning day, and actually, I don't even know if it was an e-learning day, but you guys had a day off. Yeah, you guys had a day off school because all the teachers went down to Indianapolis. I could tell you all about that because I was physically there. Then there were newspaper articles about it. Those newspaper articles would be secondhand accounts because those news people weren't necessarily there. So first-hand account means they were actually there. So I would use words like I and we. Secondhand is written by someone with knowledge of the event or topic. So they heard about it or they read about it. They know lots about it, but they were not personally there. Okay. So they use things like you, he, and they. Those are the type of pronouns they use. Okay. So give me or tell me you got it, or say yes, no, maybe in my chat if you understand that. First-hand account, I was physically there. I can tell you because I saw it. Second-hand account is I have knowledge of it because I read it, because someone told me about it, and I use things like you, them when I'm explaining it, okay? All right, it seems like most of us got it, so let's just explain it one more time. Thank you for telling me yes or no. One more time in my chat. First-hand account means that I was physically there. I can explain it to you firsthand because I personally saw it. I personally saw it. So I can say, I saw the Grand Canyon because I was personally there. Except for that was a terrible. Where have I been? You know what? I've been to Universal Studios and I saw Harry Potter Land. I could explain to you all about Diagon Alley and Harry Potter Land because I have personally been there. But someone who hasn't personally been there could tell you about it because maybe they read about it, or maybe they saw a video about it, or, they read pictures, all that stuff. Isaac, that maybe is super unnecessary, sir. You need to just type the 5 letters and that is it. So secondhand means I could tell you about it, but I didn't personally see it, okay? So we're going to talk more about that. We'll find throughout our video, we're going to see firsthand accounts and secondhand accounts, and we'll point them out. Well, we're going to hear them. We're not going to see them, okay? So there's that. So on my screen now, so that is what our informational is going to have. It's going to have a narrator. There's going to be an expert or two. There's going to be content area specific words, and there's going to be first person accounts. Okay. There's also going to be second person hand accounts because if it's not a first person account, then it's a second hand person account. Okay. So that's how that fits right in. So that will all be in our little video. It's less than 3 minutes, but we're going to have all of that in our video. So, dun da da da. As you watch, think about the kinds of events that occur during and after a large earthquake. Okay, we already know some of these. So, what can happen before a large earthquake? We talked about this yesterday in our fun science facts. So, what do we already know that can happen before a large earthquake? That would be a volcano, Mia. Mark, you are correct. So smaller earthquakes, remember, those were called, what were they called? Oh, foreshocks. Foreshocks. Remember B4?
Yeah.
So foreshocks. So sometimes tremors. Perfect, Jaden. That was one of our vocabulary words from last week, I think. So foreshocks or tremors. There's tiny little earthquakes before a big earthquake. And then we also know what can happen after large earthquakes. There can be aftershocks. There can be tsunamis. There can be, avalanches. All different types of crazy things can happen after the earthquake because the earth shifts during this earthquake. So all those things can happen. They're not guaranteed to happen, but they could happen. And remember, we also learned yesterday that we don't know if foreshocks are actually foreshocks until there's a really big earthquake, okay? They could just be an actual earthquake. And don't forget, earthquakes can happen in any weather. And if we remember, our vocabulary words are prior, magnitude, literally, and maintenance. I want you to be on the lookout for those in our story, but like I said, we're going to listen to this video more than once, so don't freak out if you miss something. We're going to listen to it more than once. I'm going to have a lot of specific questions. So the first time through, we are just going to watch the video fully, okay? The second time through, I'm going to stop it and ask questions and point out things, okay? But this first time, we are just going to listen to the video. So, everyone, no more chatting. For the next 3 minutes, you are watching and listening to a video.
There was a loud boom, like a bomb or something went off, and I was standing just right off the end of the planks on the dock.
And there was a noise. It was kind of a rumble.
Like a deep thunder, only it sounded like it was coming from under the earth.
The earthquake and resulting tsunamis happened because our planet is restless. The Earth's surface is made up of massive continental and oceanic plates that are continually moving and colliding with each other. In regions where they collide, one plate can dive or subduct under another, causing tremendous pressure to build up.
Prior to the 1964 earthquake, the Pacific plate had been subducting underneath Alaska, and Valdez was sitting on top of that subducting plate. It was basically stuck. And then on that day, all that strain was released, and then we had the Great Alaska Earthquake.
Valdez and much of Alaska were subjected to 5 minutes of violent shaking, with aftershocks persisting for days. The March 27th, 9.2 magnitude earthquake was the largest ever recorded in North American history. The Earth's violent shaking caused 98 million cubic yards of these unstable sediments to literally break off, generating local tsunami waves up to 30 feet high. The slide devastated the docks. Most of Valdez itself was spared heavy wave damage. However, 5 brutal minutes of shaking left a profound mark on the community.
During the earthquake, an oil stove, fell over and caught fire to the building, and that spread to the tank farm, and it fed upon itself. One tank would catch fire and start burning, and then that would go to another tank, and it went from one to another.
The whole town settled during the earthquake. The ground dropped almost 9 feet near the waterfront and shifted sideways as much as 30 feet in town. All but maintenance personnel and a few others evacuated the town of Valdez.
There were some people that left and never came back.
In the years following the disaster, Valdez was rebuilt on more solid ground about 3 miles away. Okay, oh snap. Did we just hear that craziness that happened? That is a real life thing that happened. And some people, you're probably, what year was it? 94? Was that or 64? Was that when it was? Yeah, 64. So my mother was alive in 64. Fun fact. My mother was born in 61. Obviously, she wasn't in Alaska, but So, and probably maybe your grandparents' life, this was a real thing that happened. That's not awesome. That's sad. So this was obviously an absolute major earthquake. So we're going to talk about lots and lots of different things. The very beginning of the video has just a little tiny thing that says on March 27th, a magnitude, which is one of our vocab words, 9.2 earthquake, the most powerful earthquake recorded in North America history struck Alaska. So this little screen here tells us exactly what the whole video is going to be about before it even starts. And then, can someone tell me in the chat, was our voice? Yeah, that was like that's a good way. Yeah, so there was even a little forward in this video, this informational video. The narrator's voice, was it male or female? Can you please put that in the chat? The narrator, the person telling us about the whole thing, was it male or female? Put it in my chat.
Miss Kneifel,
Yes.
you're like glitching out really bad.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to help that. It's probably because I'm on my cell phone. So you might have to watch the recording. I'm super sorry. I do not know what is up with all this crazy technology today, but it's probably because I'm on my cell phone. So if you said male, you are correct. It was a male. Any of our female voices were first-hand account voices. The actual narrator was a male voice. So let me find a piece of his voice real quick. Not there.
Standing just right off the end of the planks on the dock.
And there was a noise. It was kind of a rumble.
Like
Hold
a
on.
deep thunder.
Oh, come on, video. So
Colliding with each other.
this
In regions
voice
where they
right now,
collide, one place.
that is our narrator's voice. He is the overall voice that is telling us things throughout the story. There totally was female voices, but those were first-hand accounts. So there were 3 people in the very beginning. Let's watch the very beginning really quickly.
There was a loud boom, like a bomb or something went off, and I was standing just right off the end of the planks on the dock.
And there was a noise. It was kind of a rumble.
Like a deep thunder, only it sounded like it was coming from under the earth.
There were just 3 people, 2 males and a female. And all of those people are a little bit older, probably, in their 60s-ish. So all of those people are first-hand account people. What do you need? Okay, their age does not matter. Okay, I'm just going to let you know right now their age is unimportant. I'm just telling you they're older, meaning they were alive during 1964. Mia, what are we confused about, Mia, before I go any further? What do you need help with? No, we never see our narrator, okay? Our narrator, he's just in the background. The 3 people we just saw in the very beginning, make sure you did, friends. The 3 people we saw in the beginning are first-hand accounts because they were there. That first guy said it sounded like a bomb or something. So he was there. He heard it. The female said it was this crazy sound like coming from underneath the earth. We don't see the narrator because the narrator is just telling a story. Just like in a book, the narrator isn't necessarily a character. They're just telling us the story. So instead of it being written as a narrator, he's just a voiceover. In lots and lots of different movies, not even informational, the narrator was the person who we just heard talking right here.
Dive or subduct under another, causing tremendous pressure to build up.
Okay, let's take 5. Everyone, stop typing in the chat. Everyone, listen really quick. I'm going to play this section for you, okay? No one talk and no one type in the chat right now.
Prior to the 1964 earthquake,
Because our planet is restless. The Earth's surface is made up of massive continental.
Don't type in the chat. Just listen to what I'm saying. That little section we heard right there, because the earth is restless, it's made up of blah, blah, blah. That is our narrator. He is the person that is the voiceover for the entire video. He is the only narrator. We never see a picture of the narrator because we don't need to see a picture of the narrator. He is just the voiceover, okay? He's just explaining things. He's like reading from a script just like in other videos, sometimes in movies, there's a person in the background that we never see. But we see lots of other characters or I shouldn't say characters, but movie people, whatever. There's 3 in the beginning. We're going to see an expert and we hear other voices, but those are first-hand account people. So those people in the very beginning, there were 2 males and a female. That 2 males and a female are not narrators. They are first-hand account people. So they were put in this video to, if we go back here, first-hand accounts are sometimes featured to help viewers better understand the event and experience. So the creator of this video put those first-hand account people, yes, the second-hand account would be the narrator, Mia, because they weren't actually there, but they were explaining it. The first-hand account people were put in our video just to help us understand a little bit better, to help us like, oh snap, these people are really here. This guy literally said it sounded like a bomb went off. So that's giving us some more insight because he was physically there. If the narrator was like, people said it sounded like a bomb, okay, he heard that from someone else. But having the person that literally was there say it, that's adding to our experience and making it more realistic for us. Then the female first-hand account, she was like, yeah, to describe it better for us. Yeah, thank you. So she was there saying it was like a rumbling underneath the earth. All 3 of those people were first-hand accounts, okay? So that is how our
and oceanic plates that
go back video.
Mrs. Knife.
Yes.
I don't get what like the tectonic plates are.
Okay, so tectonic plates, that is just the earth is underneath the earth, the crust of the earth and all that, there's plates, okay? I'm not a science teacher, so I probably can't explain it that great either, but there are plates that are underneath where we're living, okay? And specifically where plates meet, there's called fault lines. So in the Great Alaska earthquake, there were 2 plates, and one was submerging, meaning going underneath another plate for a long time, okay? So this one's super flat. Hold on. You should all be muted. This one's flat underneath, and this one's nice and bent because one plate is going underneath another plate, and then eventually there's a ton of pressure, and then boom, they both release, and then that's why there's an earthquake. I am not a science teacher, though. I personally do not know a ton about tectonic plates, but they're a real life thing, and that is what is underneath all of us in Earth. But where we live, we're just on a plate. We're not on an edge of a plate. We're not on a fault line, which is why in Indiana we don't really have earthquakes. It's not that we couldn't, but we just necessarily won't have them a lot, really, because we don't live where plates meet.
What? Like, what is the plate? Like, what is it?
It's just something underneath the Earth. I literally can't explain.
Okay.
Let's Google it. What is Earth's plates? All right. A tectonic plate is a massive, irregular shaped slab of solid rock, generally composed of continental and oceanic lithosphere. The continental crust is composed of giant rocks. So it's literally giant slabs of rocks underneath, the dirt and the soil and just further down, okay? And the Earth is constantly shifting. And those plates shift, and then they hit, and then that's why there's earthquakes, okay? So they're literally just giant things, giant slabs of rock, okay? I don't really know how to better explain it, but that's what they are. There are just large plates underneath or inside the Earth. We personally are not going to see a plate because unless you go study that someday. But anyways, where was I? So let's just concentrate a little bit. We don't have that much time. Concentrate a little bit more. The narrator, remember, he was the male voiceover throughout the entire thing. Then there was first-hand accounts in the very beginning. Then
the surface is made up of oceanic plates really moving, and in regions plate can tremendous pressure.
Earthquake. The Pacific plate had been subducting underneath.
This lady right here, her name is Patty Burns. She's not looking that old. She probably might have been alive during 1964, but she was definitely a child. So she is a geologist, meaning she studies rocks, which probably involves tectonic plates, which means she is what in this video? Is she a narrator? Is she a second-hand account? Is she an expert? A first-hand account? Tell me what she is. She's actually 2 things.
An expert and a second-hand account.
Yeah, well, I wanted you to type in the chat, but yeah. So she's an expert. She is someone that studies rocks, meaning she probably studies plates, and she's a secondhand account. We're going to assume if she was alive during 1964, because she's so young looking, she probably wouldn't remember the Alaska earthquake anyways. So she is an expert. She studies plates, meaning she knows a lot about what happened, but she was not physically there, which makes her a secondhand account, but she's also the expert in our video. And if we go back to the beginning, remember, if we go back to the beginning, experts may be interviewed to help with key points. So that lady was thrown into the video to help us better understand about the plates and stuff, which Mrs. Kneifel is not very good at, explaining. But we are almost out of time for today, and I want to explain your small assignment. You have a very small assignment. Tomorrow, we're going to be diving in more into this video. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to talk about all the other elements of a video. So don't worry if you're still a little bit confused. We have so much more of this to go through tomorrow. But you do have an assignment that's going to be posted in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I am going to go over it with you in 1 second. This assignment, I repeat, this assignment is due tomorrow before reading class. Okay? Before reading class. It was just posted on your Google Classroom. It should take you very little time. All right, I think it's showing up now. So, it is under classwork on November 16th through 20th. It is just one question. So it says, what is the difference between a first-hand account and a second-hand account? Please answer the question using a complete sentence. You must restate your question, use capital letter punctuation. So you're going to say, the difference between a first-hand account and a second-hand account is blah, 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 period. That's it, okay? You need to have a complete sentence, but you need to tell me the difference. And if you're still struggling with the difference, you can watch this recording again. I explain it lots and lots, or feel free to look it up on the internet too. Once again, first-hand account, someone that was there. They actually experienced. When they're explaining it, they can use I because they were personally there. Second-hand account is someone that has knowledge of it, either through hearing about it or reading about it, but they were not personally there, okay? So that is your assignment. It is due by reading class tomorrow morning. So at 9:39, you better have this done. It must be in a complete sentence. You must restate your question. Say the difference between, okay? That is important.
Bye. Mrs. Kneifel.
Don't say bye yet. I'm not leaving. Yes, what's up?
So you did say we can search it up on the internet if we don't know.
Yes, but I have said it many times, Mia. I literally just said
I know.
it. Okay?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay. But if you are struggling, I mean, the internet is your friend, but, I would like you to type it in your own words. You should not just be copying and pasting a definition from the internet into your answer. You should be reading about it and then typing it in your own words. So I want this in your own words. Do not give me a definition from the internet. I want it in your own words because I want to know that you know it. It is officially already up on your Google Classroom. But you guys did a good job pretty much minimizing the chat today. There wasn't too much outside of what, it should have been. So that was pretty good. Tomorrow, like I said, we have so much more to go over in this video. So don't think we're done. I'm sorry that I got cut off, and thank you for being patient when I hopped onto my phone. So this assignment is due by tomorrow morning, okay? You guys did a good job. You are free to leave me now. You have about 3 minutes left in reading class if you want to do this assignment. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day. My class, we have a live read aloud at 1 o'clock. If you have a question, now's your time to ask. If you have a question, now is your time to ask.
Do we have spelling today?
On the stream, Ava, it says, Happy Tuesday. Today is our 67th day of school. Morning work, extra math. There will be no live spelling lesson. Instead, use the time to work on your spelling tic-tac-toe. We do have a live read aloud at 1 p.m. So we do not have a live spelling, but you should use that time to work on your spelling tic-tac-toe. Okay? Any other questions? All right. Goodbye, guys. You may leave.